Hi everybody, we have a Labradoodle puppy litter update video for you today. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and today's video update is all about the 6 chocolate Australian Labradoodle puppies. These puppies are from our Chocolate Fondue litter, and you can see everybody is chocolate, and so it is just like a big pot of delicious chocolateness here. And what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to give you an update for all these Labradoodle puppies who are now a week old, and we're also going to give you an update on their mama Mazie here and tell you all about what has been going on with the puppies over the past week. So first of all, let's start with mama Mazie. Mazie is a great mama Labradoodle. This is her final litter, so she's quite experienced. She's had 2 litters before, so she knows what it takes to raise a successful Labradoodle puppy, and she's quite relaxed about it all. She doesn't get too fussed not about anything to do with the puppies. Now she is sharing her room this time, and previously Mazie's not shared a maternity ward room. So Noisette is right next door with our Labradoodle puppies from the Olay litter. Mazie's not too keen on having a roommate. She does tend to get a little bit concerned that there's someone else right next door to her. So Mazie often has her nose right under the door and right under the divider. She can't see anything, but she can get her nose under there because she's trying to suss out just exactly what is going on. And she's absolutely obsessed with seeing Noisette, and if Noisette gets to go outside, she's like, well, why am I not outside? It's quite funny to watch. It can be a little bit challenging sometimes because we do have to manage that the 2 girls don't come into contact with one another, because as you can imagine, after you've given birth to all of these little puppies here, your hormones are going a bit crazy. And of course, our mama Labradoodles are very protective of their puppies. Their puppies are their main concern in their lives right now. And so when they see another dog nearby, they do go into protection mode. So that's why we keep them separated from other moms, so they don't argue. We don't want them to be having any sort of altercations with one another. So we make sure they are always segregated and safely secure from each other, as are their puppies. So Mazie's doing great. She's eating well now. She had a couple of days there where she didn't really feel like eating. And normally in the past, what we've done is hand feed our moms when they do that. But this time we decided to try something different. First of all we did really was put the food out and leave it out for her and let her decide if and when she wants to eat, rather than telling her, this is what you're going to eat and this is when you're going to eat it. Hey, I'm not your mom. The milk bar's over here. There we go. And it worked. For the first day, she didn't eat much. She looked at it, looked at me, and was like, well, aren't you going to feed me? And I told her, no, you can feed yourself. And it didn't take her long, and she was like, oh, okay. So it actually has worked out that she's eating far better and far more regularly now. So sometimes, as people, we equate nurturing and feeding with love. And when our dogs don't want to eat what we're giving them, or they don't eat the right amount, or when we think they should, we tend to get very concerned, and we try to almost force them to eat and to conform to our schedule, forgetting that, they're not silly, they're not dumb. They have lots of natural intelligence and really much better instincts about these things than we do. Dogs who are overweight are only overweight because their humans are not providing them with the proper amount of nutrition. Because dogs naturally are not overweight if they're out on their own, managing their own food supply. So that was what sort of made me stop and question and talk to a few other breeders and say, well, how are you managing this? And we thought, well, okay, let's try this. And it's really been very successful. Now Mazie eats more things, and she eats, as I said, actually more food. So how did we change things? So before, we were not comfortable leaving food out because we were feeding a lot of frozen raw. I don't like to leave frozen raw out because the room is very warm in here to help the puppies. So you don't want to leave that type of food out for a long period of time. Goodness gracious, this one puppy is determined that I'm the milk bar. Miss Pink Color, over you go. Oh, yes, I'm so, excuse me. A little bit of a cheeky there. So what we did was we found a solution for that. We have a couple of really high quality freeze-dry products, which is essentially the same as, well, it is the same as feeding a raw food diet, but it's in a freeze-dried format. A dehydrated food that we have used off and on, and that allows us to leave the food out for the dogs and let them eat it at their leisure. So what we're doing is in the morning, we have a dehydrated product and it becomes reconstituted. You put water in it to reconstitute it, rehydrate it, and we can leave that out for them. Now that food is a really beautiful food. It has no synthetic vitamins or minerals in it. It's great. And everything is individual in it. So we do run into a little bit of a concern with that product in that some of the girls spit out the pumpkin, sometimes they spit out the blueberries, and that means then they're missing some of that nutritional balance. So then the next meal we give them is Stella and Chewy's dehydrated, and it not dehydrated, sorry, freeze-dried. It comes in a puck. So it's all the ingredients all get put together, shaped into a puck, and that's how it's freeze-dried. So the dogs can't spit one item out. So if they don't like carrots, for instance, they can't spit the carrot out because it's all mixed in with everything. So that way we know they're getting everything that they need. Then we do still give them frozen raw. We mix in Stella and Chewy's frozen raw or Steve's frozen raw with the freeze-dried Stella and Chewy's because that's what they tend to eat, just like that. We come back, we make sure if it hasn't been eaten, it goes back in the fridge and they get something else. And then we also have a dehydrated Canadian food called Smack that we will generally leave out for the dogs overnight. We also give them from time to time an actual canned food product. Normally we don't feed our dogs any of the highly processed commercial foods such as canned foods or kibble. I'm not a big fan of those foods. The ingredients are not my favorite. However, there is a post-surgical canned food that we will use because it's extraordinarily high calorie. It's also very good for the digestion, and that just helps our moms after they've had their puppies get settled and also gives them a really high calorie boost. Because you can see all of these puppies nursing at the milk bar. That's a lot that's going out of our mama Labradoodles. And you can see here with Mazie that she has a gorgeous shiny coat. It's a full lush coat. She's not shedding, she's not dropping hair, she doesn't have bald spots, and she's not skinny by any means. So you can see that quite clearly she has really good nutrition herself, which in turn flows right through to the puppies, and you can see their coats are also all shiny and gleaming, and when we get to their weights, you will see that their weights are spectacular. All these puppies have more than doubled their birth weight in their first week, and that is always a breeder's #1 goal. And if you can do that, that's just marvelous. You don't always get there, but that is always your main goal. So Mazey's quite content with this whole process. She is asking to come out more now. She likes to come out and see us, and when she does, she has a big smile. She and her mama Spirit both smile, where they go like this. They show us their teeth and give us a smile. She has huge tail wags. She does try to jump up into Reynolds' lap quite often, and she runs around and she's very excited. When she goes outside, she positively bounds about like a deer. Just loves to go out and stretch her legs. Now with our lactating mamas, they have an extremely limited amount of space where they're allowed to go. They have only two actual designated areas where they can go to the bathroom. They're both quite small. Now why do we do that? Safety. That's the main reason. We want to have them in areas that we control and we manage as best as possible. Of course, there's birds going through, we have quail, we have rabbits, we have all sorts of wildlife, and we can't control them. But we do our best to keep our dogs in a very limited area when they're lactating, to keep them as safe as possible from picking any diseases up. Because as you can imagine, when this goes outside, especially when it's wet, all of this tummy area is what gets dirty and what gets wet and is what comes into contact with the ground. So when our moms come back in, we tend to wipe them off quickly with a towel. We give their bums a little wipe too, and try to make it as clean as possible. And we don't want to make it completely sanitary, because we do want the puppies to be exposed to things so that their immune systems start to develop. So we don't want to put any of them into a bubble, but we do want to try and manage things as best as possible. I'm not sure if you can see, because the puppy is partly under the pig rail here, but if you can see these feet here, you can see that dark pink color girl is completely upside down while she's nursing. An interesting way to get your food. You may not be able to see her at all. It's quite funny. There's very limited space in the box, so I can't exactly move and shift around to show you, but in any event, it's quite funny. So Maizey's doing really well, like I said, eating well, starting to want to come out a bit more, and be part of the family, which is just great. She has all the confidence and skills and memory to know that my babies are okay right now. The only thing that she's doing that is in the least bit troublesome is she does like to dig this carpet up. At night we can hear her dig, 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 dig. So why do girls dig? They dig because it's a natural instinct. If they were having their puppies outdoors, as they would be if they were not being managed by people, the dogs would be living in a dirt nest that would be in sort of a concave shape like this. Oh, pardon me, did I stop touching you? How rude. You can tell she's always a big bear for affection, this one. So they would build a nest like that, and then every day they would be scraping at it and digging at the sides of it to get the soil dirt out, because the puppies would be in there and things would get a little bit dirty, and they would be changing that and keeping it constantly fresh. So it's just a natural sort of behavior that they're exhibiting. It's a little bit aggravating, because when she pulls the carpet up like this, she frequently wraps the puppies up in it, and sometimes then the puppies are out on this floor here, and this is a very slippery surface, and so when they try to nurse, then they're like this and they can't get to her, so then they cry. So everybody gets unhappy, but so we just come in and we take her out and we put the carpet back down. Some of these carpets come with a little sticky thing on them, but once you stick them down, then you can't get them up to wash them. We change these regularly, of course, and then once you've unstuck them once, they don't ever stick again, and once they've been in the washer. So it's kind of one of those breeder problems that we're always trying to solve. It's very important what is on the floor of the whelping box here. So if you take a look at this carpet, it's got the rubber back, and that's to help it so it doesn't get dug up. And then it's quite a coarse texture, and there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is so that the puppies can get some traction on there, because what we don't want is for them to be slipping and sliding when they're nursing. You'll see how their paws are underneath them here as they're nursing. We want them to be able to hold themselves up to the milk bar, both so that they can actually nurse, but also because we don't want to put any extra stress or strain on their hip joints. Nothing is together yet in the dog because they're still too young for their joints to have fused together. So we want to be making sure that we are as careful as possible with the development of their joints. And that's Noisette that you can hear next door there. Noisette is wondering why we're not over there talking to her. We just did her video, but she figures that she should still be the star, I think. So she's giving us a little bit of attitude over there. The girls, when they're here on their own, they really don't bother one another. Sometimes, like I said, they put their noses through, but otherwise they're pretty quiet. But when we're in here and they can hear us and something's going on, then they become very interested in what's going on over there and what am I missing out on. FOMO exists in our dogs as well as in people. So the puppies have been doing fabulously, and we've been starting our early neurological stimulation with the puppies. And what does that mean? So I'm just going to use this little red collar girl as our example puppy. So what that means is, first of all, we are doing lots of things with them where they come up to our necks and they learn what we smell like. So this is when it's really important that you remember what's on your skin. What is this puppy being exposed to? So you don't want to be wearing perfume. You don't want to be wearing any sort of skincare or cosmetics that could potentially cause your puppy harm. So you really want to make sure you're as natural as possible where you're exposing your puppy to. So I like to wear lip gloss so that my lips don't get dried out. And that's something I make sure that the puppies are not licking. When I kiss them, I make a kissing sound, but it's my nose that's touching them so that the lip gloss is not getting on them. I don't want them licking the lip gloss or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Same as if you wear a lot of product in your hair, keep your puppy out of your hair. Try and keep them on areas such as your neck and your chest and your arms where you don't have any cosmetics. And don't put on a bunch of heavy lotions before you're handling your puppy. So the early neurological stimulation consists of giving the puppies challenges that are very minor, very quick, so that they learn that when something unexpected happens, it's not a bad thing. So that they start already to be associating in their minds that new things actually end up being something good. So we take the puppy like this, and then we'll do something as simple as putting them with their head down for a minute. That's it. That's all we do. And then we pet them. Mazie is usually here. She gives them a little bit of a reassuring lick so that they know they're fully supported in whatever's going on and being loved. And then we'll just hold them like this. Mazie's going to do a little cleanup on aisle 2 here while we're talking about this. And then other things we'll do is we will have a towel. And sometimes that towel will be slightly damp, and we'll put that under the puppy so it's a different texture and a different feel and a different temperature. We'll always be doing upside down work with them because we want them to be comfy upside down where we can scratch their tummy. Mazie is quite sure she has to do a major cleanup here on this puppy. So what is she doing here? Well, what she's doing is actually stimulating the puppy to go to the bathroom because the puppy is still too young to do that on their own. So mom has to do all of this work. Now we just did this with Sora's litter after they were orphaned when Sora became ill. And so it was up to us to stimulate them and clean them up. And I tell you, I have never ever appreciated so much how all the work that a mom does in raising a litter and keeping their bums clean and getting them to go. That is a big job and it's a lot of work, and so our moms get a huge amount of credit for that. So she's just finishing up here. I'm just going to let her finish and do her job here so I don't interfere with them too much. And I'll just put the puppy back down here. There we go. Now you can finish up your work there, Mazie. So let's go through the puppies now and tell you how they're all doing in terms of their weight gain. And we're going to start with the firstborn, who is Purple Collar. Purple Collar is a girl. And Purple Collar, where are you? Some of these, there we go. Some of these collars, when they get a bit dirty, tend to look the same color. Come here, baby girl. No, I know, you're giving up that good spot. So Purple Collar Girl is our firstborn puppy, and she is a Tuxedo style Labradoodle. What's Tuxedo? Tuxedo is white. If she was a real Tuxedo, the white would go halfway up her legs. White on the face, the head, around the neck here, and then, as I said, up the legs, and then the little tip on the tail. So this little girl is almost a full Tuxedo, but not quite because her leg markings are not all the way halfway up her legs. And this little lady is now weighing 717 grams. And you will see from the weights on all of these puppies today that, holy smokes, that's one good milk bar that we got going on there. And you can see how her nose is starting to fill in, the pink is starting to disappear, and the brown is starting to come in. So that's our little Purple Collar Girl. We'll see if we can get her a spot back at the milk bar here so she remembers that when I picked her up, it ended up with something good. So that's why I always try to put them back. Oh, there we go. So that in their minds, they're going to associate me picking them up and touching them with something good at the end. Next is Green Collar, and Green Collar is fortunately not nursing, having a little cleanup with mom there. Come here, Green Collar. Green Collar's a boy, and he is a chocolate phantom. So where a tuxedo has the white markings, a phantom has tan points. So you can see how he's got tan halfway up his legs there. He's got a bit of poop on his shoulder there that Mazie didn't clean up. He has little tan spots over his eyebrows. He's got tan on his chest there, and tan on his hind legs, and then tan under his bum too. So this little guy, I know, you can hear him talking away, and there goes Mazie back to her cleaning duties. Green Collar is 691 grams. So again, like everybody, he has more than doubled his birth weight. I'm going to put him down there so that Mazie can access him. Next is Light Pink Collar Girl, who's over here. Let's just make sure I get the right. No, this is light pink. There's two pinks. This is light pink. Come here, baby girl. Oh, yeah, I know. I promise I'll bring you back. There we go. Now, light pink is also a chocolate phantom, but she comes with a little bit of flash. So she's got those white tips there on her toes that you can see. She's got some white on her chest. She's got lots of big yawns. You can see those white tip toes even better on the back legs there. No white tip on the tail though, just on the paws and the little bit on the chest. And she's got that white goatee as well. I love it when they have the little goatees. It really just sets the dark tones off really nicely. Hey, little girl. We'll just see if we can get her to settle in and be comfortable, as I want to make sure that, like I said, all my experiences with them are all positive ones. And light pink is 674 grams. The biggest puppy in the litter is same as at birth, and that's the last puppy born in the litter, Yellow. And the smallest puppy in the litter is Red Collar that we haven't quite got to yet. So this is Light Pink Collar Girl. There we go. Now let's see if we can find you a spot. Oopsie. Oh, it's good, because here's Red Collar Girl, and we're going to swap them out. Sometimes you just have to be careful there. Whoops, sorry. Red Collar says, what? You already picked me up. Now, Red Collar Girl, this is a tuxedo. You'll see the difference here. See how the white on her legs there goes farther up than it did on the other puppy. Lots of white around the neck, the face, the head, and also the tip on the tail. And tons of white in the chest here, which represents the shirt in a man's tuxedo. This is the smallest puppy in the litter. And you can see her chocolate color is a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter. Now, one way breeders and families often ask us, how can you tell if the chocolate or the black is going to fade in a puppy? And normally it comes from their nose color. If they have a lighter color nose or it takes longer to grow in, okay, she's not happy, so we're going to put her down because we do not want her to associate us with something bad. If their nose is lighter or takes longer to fill in, then that means, generally speaking, that their coat is going to fade more quickly and more substantially. If the nose is very dark or it's filled in at an earlier age, then that generally means they're going to hold their coat color a bit better. And Red Collar Girl, she's 519 grams, and as I said, she's the smallest one in the litter, but you could just heard, she's definitely not the quietest one. And you can see she's doing a little mountain climbing here in order to be able to find a spot that's open at the milk bar, which I'm going to probably give her when I take Dark Pink Collar up. Oops, sorry, Mazie. And this is Dark Pink Collar Girl here. And we'll just get her out of the pig rail, and there. See, she's actually already stopped nursing. She had fallen asleep holding on to the nipple there. So now we'll put Red Collar down and let her find that spot so she can have her turn. Hey, baby. Yeah, that's your baby. Now, this is Dark Pink Collar Girl, who is a chocolate phantom again. No white on this girl. No, just the phantom markings. Not quite as strong as some phantoms. You'll see her eyebrows are not quite as obvious, and the mark on the side of her face is not quite as strong. Even her chest marking is not quite as strong. She has a little dab of white there, but not much. And Dark Pink Collar Girl is 688 grams. So right there in the middle of the pack. She's got nice, good sized paws there. So she's all full and tanked up. So I'm going to put her here in front of Mazie Mazie can attend to cleaning her. And then last but not least, we've got our yellow collar girl, who is the biggest puppy in the litter. Come here, baby. And you can see why she's chowing down with gusto there. Let's see if we just want to do it ever so gently. There we go. You don't ever want to yank them off or anything. And she's still got her mouth halfway open. And this is a puppy we call Bigfoot, because she's got these 4 adorable little white toes going on, and she is one big puppy. So she's definitely the largest one in the litter. She has a really nice brown coat going on, pretty chocolate color. Yes, and she's got lots of lip licking going on. So she's 825 grams already. When she was born, she was 363 grams. So that's an enormous amount of weight gain in 1 week. Holy cow. And you can see she's in a substantial puppy. I cannot hold her. Well, I can, but she does not fit in one hand anymore. And usually at a week, our puppies are still fitting in your hand quite comfortably. But this girl has a lot of heft to her. So these puppies are all lovely and solid, very much like Mama Mazie is, and certainly very much like Grandma Spirit is. This is what I like to see in my Labradoodles. I don't like the finer build as much as I like these nice big blocky girls where there's a lot of heft behind them. They have these beautiful square blocky heads, light, nice short nose. That's pretty much what the breed standard asks for, and that's pretty much what we're all aiming for as breeders. There we go, we help you find the way. So that's all the puppies in our update for this week. Next week we may have puppies with some eyes open. I always think when they open their eyes it's like a second birth, because that's for people how we really get to know one another is through our eye contact. And when their eyes are sealed shut, it's a little bit harder to really feel that you're establishing that bond. So I always love it once their eyes open. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them below, or any comments that you wish to make. I'm always more than happy to talk to you about anything related to Labradoodles. And if you have a second, can give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, please do so. We really appreciate that. And we hope we'll see you all again next week for our week 2 Labradoodle puppy litter update. Thanks so much for watching. Little babies, he's a good babies. Yeah. Oh, Mazie, look at the babies. Go, Mazie.